Welcome to Alternative Dog Moms Podcast. I'm Kimberly Gauthier, the creator of Keep the Tail Wagging. For the past 9 years, I've been blogging about raw feeding, pet wellness, and life as a crazy dog mom. I've seen massive improvements in my dog's health since I started raising my dogs naturally, and I'm passionate about sharing my experience to help other pet parents.
I'm Erin Scott. For the past 9 years, I've been researching and learning everything I can about healing cancer, allergies, autoimmune, and mystery illnesses in both my dogs and myself. And I can't wait to share with you everything I've learned on this journey. As the Alternative Dog Moms, we're bringing you all the latest dog health news that we're following and sharing the tips, tricks, and resources we learn along the way. Now, let's get started. Hello, Kimberly.
Hello, Erin.
So, oh my God, tell me all about it.
Oh my God. So, did you see that I missed my flight?
Yes. Oh my God.
So horrible. I slept late. First of all, my Kindle sucks. My Alexa, I hope she doesn't say anything because I actually have one in this room. But I set my alarm for 5 a.m. Turns out that my Kindle just flashed a light one time at 5. That was the alarm.
Oh my.
So I woke up at 7, 2 hours late. And I made it to the airport in plenty of time. If I had gotten through TSA, I would have made the flight. Barely, but I would have made the flight. But TSA took my bags, set them aside, and did nothing with them and just made me wait.
So is that like when you're going through the metal detector thing or the scanner thing?
I had gone through everything. I went through the long line, everything. And it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. So I'm standing there thinking I can get it, just get my bags. I'll run to the gate because it wasn't far. Nope. They made me wait. And I probably actually by then it was too late anyway, because they said that the line was 15 minutes. It wasn't. It was longer. And one woman was just absolutely rude and mean, but everyone else was just sort of like, I don't want to deal with you people. Like if you had a question, they were like, they wouldn't let me get the question out. And I finally had to go, can you just let me ask the question? Because you keep thinking you know what I'm going to ask, but you don't. And you're answering someone else's question. And he was like, okay. And then I asked the question and it was just like, yeah, no, I can't help you. And I was speaking to TSA down in San Diego, and they were like, yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. And yeah, they, and like, yeah, we can do that. And one guy was like, yeah, we would have just taken you out of line and called the gate and taken you out of line and just checked you on our own and got you to the gate. That's what we would have done. And I was just like, and they told me that Seattle TSA is notorious. And after I missed the gate, so I went to someone, I was like, what do I do? And they're like, don't worry, go here and they'll take care of you. So I went to this desk and I was just like, I just missed my flight. And they were like, TSA. And they said it was such an attitude. And I was like, yep. And they're like, you know what? They're going to have to travel someday. And they're going to deal with all of us when they travel because we're going to know who they are. And and I was just like, damn, there was this it's these 3 women and they were just like, and they were like, no one here likes them.
So were you like one of the people that was selected to get extra screening because you might be a terrorist or something?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
It was just like, and it's just my bags because, all the horrible things that I have in my bags, the lotions and the foundation and all that. But yeah, it was really horrible.
This is why I hate flying, just for the record.
But it's so funny because the women at the desk were so nice and they were like doing everything to cheer me up. And when they finished, got my flight and got everything done. And they were like, how do you feel now? And I'm like, not angry or sad. I was like, I feel really good.
Did you have to pay more?
Nope.
Okay, good.
Nope. They were, I guess if it had been my fault, I would have. But since they held me, they were like, don't worry about it. And they got me squared away. In fact, by the time I got on the plane, Delta knew my name because they were like, hey, Kimberly, da-da-da-da-da. And, you need to check that bag. And I was just like, I know. And they were amazing. And I got there. It was a great trip. I watched a movie and read a book and and then we had so much fun. I wish you could have been with me when I saw Real Dog Box, because the entire time I was in that building, I was thinking of you. And I swear, if next year they have the event in San Diego, you have to come, and you and I are going to be like two kids at Santa's workshop at their place, because
I
I
love it.
think only you and I can truly appreciate what they've done. Because you go in there, they have it so organized, and they're like, and we put this tag with this number, and this number follows it all the way through. And it was just like, just every time, every second they showed me something else. It was so organized and so beautifully done. The place, it's hard to believe that there's any raw meat anywhere in that building. It's so freaking clean. And everything is so organized. And they have a stand where people were just putting stickers on boxes. And they don't have like a huge team of people. Like, they all adjust and do different things based on the day of the weeks. And so this was Friday. They were like, well, we don't do a whole lot of packing today because we actually do it on Monday. So what they were doing on Friday was getting everything ready for Monday. So they were getting the boxes organized, and they had these piles of boxes all stacked up with the labels on them. And then they had these bags, and they were, getting the bags open, like on one end of the table, then they'd go to the other end of the table, and they start stuffing the bags with stuff. And they had one guy grinding up, green lip mussels. And everyone was so friendly. That's the thing. San Diego, people are friendly down there, like really creepy friendly down there. and it's conservative. So it's conservative, but also Spicoli hippie-ish too. And everywhere we went, we would be like, hey, ladies, how you going? Good morning, ladies. And just like all of that all day long.
I guess if you live in San Diego, life can't be that bad, huh?
Yeah, vitamin D and money. Yeah. Because that was the other thing is, everything was so, not expensive, but, you're looking at these homes right on the beach.
Oh, and that's expensive.
I don't think that was like a $500,000 home. But, what do I know?
Location.
I know. Everyone was so friendly and nice. And we went to there was like a fair with the roller coaster and stuff. We didn't go on that, but we were just wandering around looking at all these different places and really cool shops. And oh man, everyone was so freaking friendly and nice. And we had so much fun. I just kept saying over and over, like, best vacation ever. It was like, for this to be my first trip after the pandemic, it was the best.
And to have a little bit of a rocky start there.
Yeah, exactly. It turned out so good.
I'm so glad.
It was awesome. So, Real Dog Box, everything was so cool. I love just how organized everyone. What I loved is, so they have this, in Turk, he built everything. So he built the air dryers. He built the software program where they can manage the air dryers through the computer and remotely. They have it like, you can look at this screen and it tells you which ones are running, which ones aren't, what's finished, what's going to be finished. The whole thing is organized. They have another screen that has a calendar, and it tells you what they're doing and when they're doing, what's coming in, what's going out, and everything's color coordinated. Everything in the warehouse is color coordinated.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. I was blown away. It was like, literally, I think it should be like a tourist spot for raw feeders, because I would go back. Like, every time I go to San Diego, I will be making a pop into the Real Dog Box place. See, and nothing is happening right now. So that was really cool. And I stole some stuff. They allowed me to. But here's some of the green lip mussels.
Ooh.
And I got a little, and this is kind of gross for people who aren't used to this type of stuff, but it is, it's called a poult, but it's like a little baby bird.
Oh.
I know. But my dogs are going to eat it.
Yeah, and they're going to be happy about it.
I know, they're going to love it. But yeah, it was pretty cool. They had all kinds of stuff in there. In fact, I upgraded my membership.
Oh,
because there was so much cool stuff that I was like, why aren't I getting this? And Ruby's like, because you have a chew only box. I'm like, and so I upgraded my box so that I can get more stuff. But so that was Friday. Saturday, we drove up to Newport Beach to attend the conference. And the conference was really kind of cool. It was really special. They had an MC. They had singers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And each of the people, all the brands or vendors that have booths, they got a speaking slot too.
Oh, okay.
And it was kind of cool because they have an opportunity to educate an entire room about their products. And then we can go out on breaks and learn more about it. And she made plenty of space to allow us to engage with each other, engage with the vendors. So it was amazing. The food, I have never been to a conference where the food was so good.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was salmon, which I didn't need salmon. I tried to eat stuff that I couldn't get here. And yeah, we have salmon coming out of our ears, but I had it anyway. It just sounded good and it was delicious. And I ate way more than I needed to, and I'm glad I did.
It's vacation.
Yeah, I know. It was delicious. But, we had great drinks like tea and coffee all day, juice, all that all day long, and water. It's like a lot of events, they have these things, but like when they come and take the drinks away, they're just gone. And you're walking around with a water bottle looking for a water fountain. But they took very good care of us. I mean, they brought in cookies in the afternoon, cookies and other pastries. We had pastries in the morning for breakfast. They fed us all day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, cause it was an all day event and it was amazing. I think there were things that went wrong, which you expect, but the only true critique that I had two. One was that I won this product. I don't think it's in here, but it's called, I think it's La Ali, but it's Botanical Pet Care Native Hawaiian Tradition, and it's all natural canine skin rescue. And it kind of smells like sulfur. Ruby and I kept putting it on our hands all day because we were like, the smell was like, what is this?
I was going to say, sulfur doesn't sound like something I want to smell like.
It's not strong like sulfur, and it doesn't happen right away. Like when you put your nose in it, you don't smell it. It's organic Hawaiian volcanic sulfur. Yeah, so it's supposed to be great, like for hot spots and things like that. There's another product that has sulfur in it. I can't remember what it's called, but it has a horseshoe on it.
I just remember from being a teen with acne that sulfur was good for you.
Yeah. So you can kind of see that. Oh, no, you can't see, but we put our fingers all in it and just kept putting it on our hands. And then after a while, it's like, are we walking around smelling like, do we stink? Because we were just like, what is it? And it made your hands so soft. And so I'm going to be using this on my dogs. But I won this, but this wasn't someone that was at the event. So I couldn't go and talk to them about it. So that was one critique, tiny. And then the other one was it needed to be a 2-day event. And it was not possible.
It was just too much.
Because of the cost. It would have been way too expensive. Basically, for even us, it would have been a really, really expensive event for a first time around. But so much information was thrown at us. And there wasn't time to talk about, like, don't do this instead. We just got the don't do this part. And I mean, it was heavily on gut health, which I loved. They did have 2 Q&A sessions, which I loved, because there wasn't time after each session to ask the speaker questions.
Oh, okay.
So, that kind of blows. But I kind of understand that because sometimes those type of things can go on and on.
Oh, yeah. Because everybody's like, I had a dog in 1993 and this happened. Yeah.
No one can just tell us a quick, ask a quick question. And like when I look at other events that I've been to, all except for Lori Kozier's, there were different rooms for speakers. So you could stay behind and just be late to the next thing that you were going to and ask your questions and go and talk to the speaker. But not this, since we're all in the same room, it just wasn't possible.
Gotcha.
So that kind of sucks. So there was Judy Morgan's, and I think there were a lot of great sessions, but my favorite was Judy Morgan and Rita Hogan. But yeah, lots of talk about gut health. And I got a question asked because I asked the question about probiotics.
Oh, good.
And they agreed that this whole push towards probiotics was, it was detrimental to our dogs. And I'm just blown away by just this. It makes sense, and everyone agrees with it. And in my head, I'm like, have any of you guys said this? Because it's new to so many people. And after I asked the question, people were like, thank you for asking that question. And even the people on the stage were like, very good question. Yes, we need to talk about these probiotics. And I think it's just, everyone keeps jumping towards recommending probiotics without really understanding what they do for us and don't do for us. And so that's why I came home with tons of Adored Beast, because that seemed to be the only product that was appropriate for my dogs.
Well, that was actually going to be my question. Was I knew that, Julianne Lee was there from Adored Beast, and I know people recommend their products a lot.
Yes.
So I was wondering if she got to weigh in on that.
She did not, because she actually wasn't there.
Oh.
Yeah, Canada said you can leave, but unless you're vaccinated, you can't come back.
Oh,
so they were able to get her on a Zoom. And so she was able to do her presentation, which was like, yay. But they almost didn't get her because the hotel kept losing internet.
Oh my God.
So we couldn't.
What is with these hotels?
I know. We can do anything. When we checked in, they were like, well, just give us your name and your card and we'll figure it out. And it was just yeah. But yeah, I have other ones too, but I got the Phytos Flora, Love Bugs. I just got everything. I already had Gut Soothe or is it Gut Health or Gut Soothe, whatever, at home. So I got these. And what's interesting is I got all the paperwork behind it, and they're all a little bit different, which I find really interesting. And Tracy, who was the person who came for Adored Beast, explained that Julie recommends alternating them and just rotating through them. And so that's what I'm going to do, is just rotate through them. So I'm using 2 right now. And then after I finish those, I'll grab another 2 and so on and so forth. So
what did Dr. Judy Morgan talk about?
The 10 medicines we should avoid. And so it was all, like Seresto and all the flea and tick heartworms and all of those. And that was one of the things, is that there wasn't time for us to then talk about what we should do instead.
Right.
And how to have these conversations with our veterinarians about, our concerns, and are there any things we should focus on when we're trying to have that conversation. There just wasn't time for it. But it was a really interesting, I ended up just taking pictures of the slides.
Yeah.
It was too much to take notes on. And then Rita, talked about herbs, and I liked her presentation. Not that I gained anything from it, because it was, again, a lot of information, but I liked because she talked about just how the body interacts with each other. And, one thing that we don't, or at least I don't think about, is yes, there's the gut health and the immune system, but it's also tied to our liver. And that's something that I have never heard anyone bring up before. So I thought that was cool. And, she said that she's going to send me her food energetics course so I can take that. So I'm really excited about that. And she's almost finished with her book, but she had to fire her literary agent because the agent didn't really understand what she was trying to do. And I think maybe wanted her to dumb it down. And she's just sort of like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. So she's going to meet with someone else to work with them. So I'm really excited about her book coming out.
Yeah.
And Judy Morgan, and Hugh was there as well, but she sold out all of her books. I mean, she sold them. They were so happy because they didn't have to carry anything back on the plane. And I met Eric of BJ's Raw. I've never met him in person before.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I met him in Albany.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was. And he was just like, Kimberly, I know who you are. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Because I didn't know who he was. And he's like, I'm Eric. And I was just like, how old are you?
Yeah, he looks very young.
12. He looks 12. And
was he rocking the Doc Martens?
I don't remember. He was wearing a hat. And I just, but we had so much. We hung out after the event in the hotel bar. And he ordered pizza, and we were going to order from the hotel menu. And we were everything was so freaking expensive. And he was teasing me because I was like, oh, if I order that, but then I'm going to change it to this and this and this. And he was like, why? And I'm like, because that sounds better. And we ended up ordering pizza too, ordering what he ordered because his pizza was so good. And now
I want pizza.
I know Ruby was walking around talking to people, and she just kept coming back and pointing to a piece of pizza and going, don't eat that. Because there was another piece that she was like, that's mine. And I ate it. And that's just I didn't hear you. It was so good. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. And yeah, we had some fun. It was a fun trip. I think a 2-day trip can be a lot. But I think that it's unless you're going to have people shorten their talks or tell them that, we need to have more like, action items type of thing, then I think it would be helpful to have like a few people one day and a few people the next day. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So how about Dr. Odette Suter?
Oh yes, her session was really good too. That was the other thing, is I wish that the agenda had everyone's topic on it. It just had the people on it. And I don't quite remember specifically what her topic was, but I just know that she touched on gut health as well. So, but yeah, hers was really good as well.
And then there was one person who was new to me, Dr. Barry Sands.
Yes, she talked about energy and how our energy impacts everything around us. And basically that we have like a 9-foot radius of energy. So anything within that, if we're walking around all pissy, that anything within that is going to pick up on that energy as well. And then, her session for me was too much for first thing, because hers was the first. And I'm not a morning person. So I was just kind of like, I really am interested in this, but I'm aggravated with myself because I just can't get into it. And I was just kind of, I need a muffin type of thing. I think I need to go get a muffin. I just wasn't in the headspace for it. But she has an entire business about this. So I was going to look her up some more, because I thought it was really interesting, because there was like science behind it. It wasn't this woo-woo type of thing. It was actually science behind it. So I thought that was really cool. And she dumbed it down. She was like, we can get all into this. So it was just like, oh, wow. And her slides were the coolest, because her slides had stuff happening, like, like the energy thing around. Her slides were pretty fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a really well done event. And I think the thing that other events are going to struggle with is the comfort aspect of it. Like, she made it so easy for us to just stay there all day. Whereas for me, when I've been to events, usually by mid-afternoon, I'm done. I think I'm going to be, but it's sort of like, I don't need to see this. But she gave us like really, like the lunch was noon to 2, not just, an hour. So we had plenty of time to eat and sit, get our food, to sit down and eat and chit chat and eat it. You weren't rushing, and then walk around and talk to the vendors. So I met Earth Buddy, which is a CBD oil company that I've never heard of, but they grow all of their own plants, and they say that they keep their batches very small so that they don't have to worry about mold or any other type of issues. So I got their Balance CBD oil, but they also have supplements. And so I got one, it's Max Life. And I basically told him about Rodrigo, and he made these recommendations, and it's immune support for dogs and cats. And it's just a capsule. Promotes a healthy immune system, helps eliminate oxidative stress associated with the aging process, full with spectrum hemp something, and made for the aging dog and cat. And he's from Colorado. So I got this. It's a 30-day supply. This was not cheap either, but I'm excited to, see how Rodrigo does it over the next month. But yeah, there's a lot of cool things. There's this company there, and I feel like I bought from them before. It's called, is it Ayurveda? I don't know if this is right, but it's skin butter. And it's they had all these really cool pictures showing dogs with severe skin issues being treated with their products. And they have shampoos and all kinds of stuff like that. And it's all natural. And it was, I think, 2 Japanese ladies. And they were so happy to see Dr. Morgan. It was adorable. They were and Dr. Morgan was like, I only have these 2 books left. And they were like, we'll take them. It was kind of cool. But yeah, it was a fun, really cool trip. Lots of dogs down there, people walking their dogs. And I guess there's a dog beach. People were asking me. They even Ruby and Turk was like, "Do you want to go to the dog beach?" But I'm like, I don't like to be around strange dogs. Not that I'm worried about it. I'm so weird about my dogs that I feel like I'd be a hypocrite to turn around and be like, "Come to me, stranger. I know I'm a stranger, but yeah, I want to pet all the dogs." I just no, let them have their good time. So I just do regular beaches. And so, yeah, that was it. It was a nice trip.
Oh, that's great. I want to go next year.
It was fun. I just, what I liked is that the level of information was really up there and the audience was here for it. And it was a full room. So it was really
I'm imagining it was mostly women.
Yes. But there is one person, she follows me on YouTube, Pippa's mom. She told her husband that, as a gift, for a vacation, she was like, "Take me to this conference." And so he did. And they were so amazing. They were from Texas and they were so amazing because they came up and said hello. And I think we took a picture together. I don't even remember, but they were so nice and so friendly. I mean, a lot of people. I saw a follower of mine named Zoe, and she's a young woman that she's been following me for a while, and she was there. But what was so funny is everyone was just really into the event. And, but there was some feedback that Carrie received, which was like, "I'm so tired of seeing the same faces over and over again." So I'm really excited because Carrie's going to start looking for new faces. Maybe not next year, but, going forward. And I think that would be really cool is if we can start seeing just new voices that are sharing different thoughts rather than the same message being delivered. Because, I mean, I know I follow Odette Suter, but I don't actually see a whole lot of her content, but I see Dr. Morgan's content and I see Rita's content. And although everything is different, but it's also the same. So it would be kind of cool to see just a different perspective. And we didn't really get into cancer. I mean, it was brought up, it was mentioned like as a side effect of, but we didn't really dive deep into it. It was mostly about just keeping the gut healthy and all the different things that we can do to alleviate stress in our dogs.
I'm here for it.
But yeah, it was fun. I'm glad to be home though. So I was so worried about the dogs because I was worried that they would freak out. And my dog walker said that, whenever he took them outside, they would all be at the gate because he just took them to their yard and they would be looking for my car. Is she back? And I think it was Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday night. I was talking to Johan and he put me on speaker so that Apollo can hear me. And he just went absolutely bonkers. And he was, I guess, running back to the window. Like, I hear her voice and didn't go and look out the window. So that made me feel good. I was like, okay. It was me.
Did you get quite the welcome home?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Apollo wouldn't leave me alone. Everyone else was just sort of like, "Hey, welcome back. It was great to see you." Apollo was just like in my face. Like, "Where have you been? You have no idea what I've had to go through." And I just took that for about 20 minutes and then passed out. I was so tired by the time I got home. Oh, but I got free parking because I parked at the airport, which is $34 a day.
Yeah.
And, but the system was down when I left. So I was just like, yay.
I feel like that at least like makes up for all your TSA stuff,
I
right?
think so. I feel like, I was going to complain and stuff, but I was just like, everything worked out pretty well. So maybe that first flight would have been just a really terrible flight. Maybe there were 8 babies crying,
right?
2 teething toddlers. And a fake service dog running up and down the aisle.
Right.
Oh, but I did see a drunk woman being escorted through the airport by airport police. So, and it's funny because it was when they were setting me up for my next flight. And
so this is like 7 o'clock in the morning.
Well, like 9:30. And, when they were setting me up for my next flight, and she was tanked. Like she would walk, how like airports will have a ramp to walk up, and she would walk 3 steps up and then 2 steps back and stuff. And then they would come and try to help me. She's like, "No, got it. I got it.
Wow.
And they were like, the ladies that were helping me they said, "Well, at least she's not aggressive." And I just turned around and I'm like, "What?" And they're like, oh yeah, we see a lot of stuff.
It must be something to work at an airport.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a good trip. I'm grateful. And now I know that my dogs will survive without me and I will survive without them. So I think I really am excited about the idea of going to New York to Albany.
Yay. So it's been raining like nonstop here for days. I feel like it's like a biblical flood or something. We have the remnants of the hurricane that's been hitting us. And it's been chilly here. We had to turn the heat on, which my husband was not happy about. And I was like, I work too damn hard to freeze for saving what, $50 or something? Like, we're just turning the heat on. So I had the dogs in their pajamas because they get cold because it's just been like cold and damp. So I was just curious, do your dogs wear like pajamas or clothes? No.
No, they don't. They would. I fostered a dog once that was like a Whippet Chihuahua mix, I think. And I went and bought a bunch of clothes for it. The rescue group that I fostered through was like, you don't have to do that, but I did. And I love that little dog named Morgan. And I packed up all of his things into a bag and gave it to his new mom. And she actually would send me pictures like once a year. He's still doing great. Aww. So I was really happy and excited about that. But I've always wanted that. My dogs, they have coats. So when the weather turns, and I have coats for them mostly so that they stay as dry as possible when they get back from a walk. But yeah, so they stay dry and I don't have to dry them off because I don't know what it is about Apollo, but his coat likes to hold on to water like it's money. And I will dry him down and then I just stand and wait. Oh. What is he doing in that bush?
Pooping.
I thought so, but it's just like, why there?
That's how he does it. He likes to back up into things like the bushes. But he's wearing his camo jammies, and so he looks all like camouflaged down in the bushes.
That is so great. They have their coats. I have tons of them too, because I went through a period of time where I got some. We had a whole bunch of them donated to rescue. And so I was able to go through that and I got a few from there. And then I went through like just trying to buy. It's hard to buy clothes online.
For bigger dogs, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I feel like they should not be allowed to call something extra large if it's not extra large. Or they should have to be, say, extra large for a tiny dog.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, So I found some clothes. I finally found that, what is it? The coats, at least. Of course, I don't remember the name of the company. There's two companies that I was able to find coats for my dogs that fit and do really well. And so that's what they have. They have a couple of them that, are reversible. Not sure why that's necessary, but because if one side is dirty, if you reverse it, then you're putting the dirty side on your dog.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone in the world understands how important that is. But yeah, once I found coats, I just basically went to a local store and just took one of the dogs because they're all kind of the same size. And just until I found the brands and the size that I want. And then I just bought a few of everything. So they have sweaters and then they have full on coats and then they have lightweight coats. So that's all for the winter, and then the spring is when I bring out coat season.
Yeah. Penny gets very chilly. Like me, she's always chilly, but it's even Nino's been chilly, so I was like, all right, we're breaking out the jammies. So there's a great company for the pit bull type dogs called Pity Clothes, where you can get like matching pajamas with your dogs. So Penny and I have matching pajamas, and Nino and Tim have matching camo pajamas, and
that is so cute.
But they seem to like wearing them. And then Nino, he gets like, I can tell when he's cold because he's like curls up in this little ball on a blanket on the sofa and like doesn't move all day, you know. So I can tell when, when he's back to running around and chasing his ball and chewing on things that, he's much more comfortable with his jammies on.
I looked it up. They're Kurgo. The
Oh,
one of
yeah.
the brands is Kurgo. The other brand I still don't remember. I just know it's initials, but I don't know what.
I think there's one called like RC Pets or something that I've bought from. Yeah.
Yep, that's it. RC Pet. And
Yeah,
so
that's a good
I
one.
really like theirs as well. And it's funny because there are these cute coats like at my local pet store. They're ridiculously expensive, but I always like to just support the store. And it's like, yeah, I could buy one. And there's this one coat that I wanted so badly, but the biggest it went was still for like a 20-pound dog.
Right.
And that was expensive. So I know if they made it for my dogs, there's no way I'd be bringing that home. But yeah. And it just sucks because everything where you go places, the coats are always for little tiny dogs.
I know.
Every now and then, like at Marshall's or TJ Maxx, I'll see something that looks like it might fit my dog. And I've learned not to bring it home because it probably doesn't.
Right.
It just looks like it will, but it probably doesn't.
Well, with pit bulls, they have like the really broad chest, even though they aren't like the hugest of dogs. But then, to get something that fits the chest, it throws the whole size out of whack. So, yeah, it's always a struggle.
Yeah. And the other thing is you have to look for the collar opening on some of these things because they'll have a collar that comes up, but I have to look and see, does it have a zip or anything? So my dogs wear harnesses, where I can get the leash in. And I'll get so excited about something fitting my dog and then get it home. And it's like, it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
So once I found what would work for my dogs, I basically spent 3 months just slowly like watching sales. It was last holiday season and buying stuff as I got sales. And then I'm done. We're good. They're all in the laundry room, folded up neatly, waiting for the winter season to approach.
I really want to get Penny like a raincoat because she really hates the rain. But yeah, it's hard to find something that's like an actual raincoat for her size. And also, I like to get everything of hers in pink. So.
Oh, I used to do that for Sydney because I got so tired of people going, "Oh, is he? How old is he?" And I'm like, and then I would go, because I would say, "Oh, what's his name?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's Sydney," and they would think it was, because they were boys named Sydney, and I was just like, "No, it's a girl," and not that it matters. Jeez, who cares? I no longer correct people, but also Zoe wears a pink and brown harness. Rodrigo doesn't wear harnesses at all because he's not allowed off this property. And he wears it to the vet. And then his are usually red. And then Apollo has what is it? Oh, Apollo doesn't wear a harness anymore because he doesn't like them. He runs from me when I pull the harness out. So I just gave up and stopped putting it in. So I attached the leash to his collar and he learned, he doesn't yank me. He's, and I think it's because I have the right type of collar for him. But yeah, all the problems of dealing, raising dogs and like,
What about Halloween? Do you do Halloween costumes for the dogs?
I don't. I want to, though. And I get a kick when other people do it, but I don't. And the reason why is because they always look so miserable. Like when you put a hat on them and they dick their head, like they're trying to get their head out away from the hat. They just look so miserable that it's like, it's not cute to me. I did it one year where someone, I think PetSmart sent me, it's back, when bloggers used to work a lot with, these companies, and they sent all of us like a band. I don't know what it, like a headband thing, but it had reindeer things.
Oh, antlers.
Antlers. Thank you. Those things. And I have pictures. It was like over 10 years ago where I had this on the dogs and I was trying to just get a happy picture of them wearing them. But I took so many pictures and they just looked so miserable. And then it's like they would shake their head and it would be off to the side. And it was just like, and after that, I never did it again, but I still see them. I still see like little cute costumes. And if I had a small dog, I would like to, but when I had Morgan, I didn't make him wear foofy stuff. He was also a boy dog. So I just like the idea. I just want just a 20-pound dog. And then I can put like really cute clothes on them, but no dressy type clothes, just like a really like a fluffy, like a marshmallow navy blue jacket. I don't know why I pulled that detail out, but it's in my head. And so I would love to, but no.
Well, I finally got Penny something that I have been dying to get her for a couple years. I had tried to have somebody like make it for me and like it never quite fit her right. But so she's very cooperative with wearing like a tutu kind of thing, like that doesn't seem to bother her. So it's like a poodle skirt, but instead of a poodle, it has a pit bull shape on it. So I'm like very excited about this. I got it off of Etsy, and this woman was like willing to customize whatever type of dog you wanted. And I was like, that's awesome.
Do you follow? I'm sure you do. Yeah, Noah and Lincoln. And they posted today. And if you don't follow them, I'm tagging you because you should be following them. Oh my God, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. But they have like the best videos because they'll do these videos where the wife has one dog and the husband has the other dog. And they're like, the video is putting pajamas on our dogs. And she does it. And her dog is like lifting the paw. She has the senior dog and lifting the paws and he's all getting, and there we go. And then the husband comes in and he's just like, and he's looking at his dog and his dog is like, bring it. And it turns into this huge ordeal of him trying to put pajamas on his dog. And it is so freaking funny.
That's like us trying to get, like Penny's always very cooperative with things. And then Nino likes wearing them, but like he gets like kind of weirded out, like putting them on at first. So yeah, it's like he's running around. He's got like two paws in, like his butt and the back legs are flopping out and he's running around the room with his ball. Yeah.
There they are.
Oh my God, that's adorable.
So I'm going to tag you. Because and they get so many. It is so much fun. I look forward to their
I wish I had more of that creativeness about making videos like that.
I know. I would try to do a video today showing clipping Apollo's nails because, and I have something, I'm going to blow your mind on that because it's funny because I can clip his nails with no problem. But the thing that I learned, someone came to the house years ago to teach me how to do this, was when I hold on to the paws, not to let go of the paw. Because it's like if you teach them that all they have to do is yank and let go and they don't have to have a nail trim, then yay. So I'm sitting here and he does all this routine and I'm just sitting there waiting. And then he stops, clip. And then he does all this thing and I'm holding and he's mouthing my hand and growling and all that. And then he settles, clip. And it's just, but the video was just so long that I didn't finish doing it. But I was speaking to Carrie Hyde of the Spaw. And she said, actually, using clippers is a bad idea for dogs. It causes them pain because even though we may not be clipping the quick, there still is a nerve there. And that's why a lot of dogs hate nail trims. It's painful for them. And so she recommends a Dremel, which sucks because, a lot of dogs are afraid of that.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to see if I can find a Dremel that, even though it'll take a long time, but still has the speed so I can keep it at a low speed, for instance, for Zoe, because I know she doesn't like it. But yeah, we had this long conversation about it. Wow. And I had never heard anything like that. But she says a lot of people are very resistant to this because for a lot of people, it's what it's easy to do. I've been doing it. And I'm sitting here, she's telling me this, an hour after I was just like, clip.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh, I'm a monster. But she didn't say that, but it was just sort of like an information that I've never heard before. And so now I'm looking forward to like reaching out to other groomers and getting their thoughts.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah. Like I think Penny must be have very sensitive paws and feet. And we actually, it's always a struggle with both of them. But about a year, I think 2 Christmases ago, I had bought something that's a Dremel, but it's like a modified one that's made specifically for dogs. Like, and it's not the name brand one, but it's like low set, like really quiet, and it's like lower vibrations. And so that has been really good. Like she's been much more cooperative. Nino, it still just takes a long time. Like you basically you can do like 1 foot and then you kind of got to let him like run around and like shake it off. And, and then you got to like, all right, dude, we got to do it again. And, but he gets very like antsy and stuff. Like, so it's always like sometimes we can only do like 2 feet a day and then we have to come back another day and do like the back feet or something.
Yeah. And I don't even mind that at all. I'm pretty excited about it. I know how to like help my dogs get used to it because back when I purchased a Dremel, but it wasn't a very good one at all. It was one of those on the, like they run Facebook ads. Mm-hmm. It was $15 and, discounted by 75%. And I foolishly was like, really? And bought it. And it wasn't even worth sending back. And, I tried to use it. It was worthless. And so it still had the vibrate and stuff, but it just didn't do anything to the nails. But what I did before I even used it was I would turn it on and set it next to the dog. First, I would just set it next to the dog. Then I would turn it on for a little bit and set it next to the dog until they were like, okay, it's not going to jump and bite me. And I would just do that for a few days. And so when I was finally ready to use it, I was really excited and it was a dud. So,
bummer.
I know. And I bought a better one. I sent it back. I bought a better one, but I was just like, they sent me all this stuff. And then there was, I guess, something that I needed to buy in addition to it. And I was just like, it's too much. And so I just sent it all back. And so I'm ready to try again now.
Well, you'll have to keep us posted on how that's going because I'm always looking for nail tips.
How often do you trim their nails?
We try to do it every other week. We don't always succeed.
Yeah, me too. I mean, well, because it's a week-long event sometimes. Because I never do every dog in the same day. Sometimes I can get away with it. Like I can usually do Rodrigo and Apollo in the same day. But when we had 4 dogs, and especially when we had 5 dogs, I had to spread it out because the others would run from me. Right. And they know, like Sydney and Zoe, they know the word, I got to trim your nails. They knew that. They knew what that meant. They recognized I would have to have the clippers behind my back, but they were all looking at me like, we know something's behind your back. And we know it's not a dog treat. But I figured out, like with Apollo, I put him on a bed and I sprinkle treats along one side of his body. And while he's eating them, I clip the nails on the other side of his body. And then I do the opposite. And so I can have his nails trimmed in like 5 minutes. Rodrigo, I don't do that. I can just lift his paws and trim his nails. And I usually just do like 2 paws. He doesn't get upset or anything, but I just do 2 paws I do his front paws one day and then his back paws the next day. Zoe, I basically get a paw a day with her. So if it's every other week, it's going to be all week long and it just sucks. And her nails are a lot longer than my other dogs, which sucks because I know the quick is a lot longer. Yeah. And it takes a long time to get to train the quick to go back. So that's why I want to return to the Dremel because I'm just terrified of catching that quick.
Yeah. And then you feel like the most horrible person in the world if you do.
The dog is bleeding to death and it's just like awful. And they just look at you. And then they start licking you and I just feel like, I'm so sorry. You didn't do anything wrong. This was all me. I'm so sorry. And then I start feeding them because I'm begging for forgiveness through food. So
I have a good Netflix recommendation.
Okay.
It's a documentary and it's called Kiss the Ground. And it's all about our soil and regenerative agriculture and the climate and why this is all so important to pay attention to. But, it's very, it's not nerdy. It's, it's entertaining to watch. I mean, it's probably a little nerdy, but
I know it's not nerdy to us. Oh, that's perfect because I was talking to Johan yesterday about I want to bring in some compost to put around our fruit trees. Because we got a lot of fruit this year, but it's kind of went bad fast. The bugs really got to it really early. And I know that a healthy fruit tree doesn't get bugs as bad. And so I want to do that. But he also wants to go and buy more fruit trees. And we're going to set up an area for my garden because we're still talking about getting a freeze dryer. But before we get a freeze dryer, I've been doing my research. And so watching videos from people who have freeze dryers. And I'm starting to change my mind.
Oh,
Maybe I want a second dehydrator instead. But I'm not going to shut the door on freeze dryers. But the things that I learned is that, sometimes the upkeep can be a bit much. They are an energy suck. So, if I do want to have something that I'm running 24/7, which I don't plan on doing that, but still it's going to be some energy that's going to, we'll be paying for. And I learned today, I was watching a video that, a lot of sites will talk about like which is better. And she said that when they measure as far as what's better, they're basically taking things like they're measuring the freeze dryer to a dehydrator, but the dehydrator is running at a temperature that we wouldn't use. So it's just sort of like, it's totally way over cooking everything basically. And she also mentioned that vitamin A and vitamin C go out of the food quickly. But she was like, that's the case whether you freeze dry or dehydrate. So you're losing the vitamin A and vitamin C. And I was thinking about like all the times I post things like, oh, I'm going to do this and it's rich in this. No, not anymore because I dehydrated it. It's not, it doesn't kill all the nutrients, but it's not what they say. Freeze dry food retains more nutrients and it retains the flavor a lot more. So I'm going back and forth because they're so freaking expensive. And I can buy one used, but I'm terrified of buying one that doesn't work and now my money's gone. So I'd rather buy, like, if I want to save, they have scratch and dent ones. And so I'll just do that. But we're still like doing the research to find out, is this really something that we need to do? But if we do, that's when I'll do a garden. That way I don't waste a garden.
That's exciting.
I know. So we'll see. I'll check out that documentary because I'm really curious about that. I do. I love the fact that, one thing that we talked about over the weekend is just how complicated, raw feeding is and how you can just dive down this rabbit hole of, well, you need to feed this way and this is what, the nutrients are and this is what's going to meet your dog's, nutritional needs. But my brain goes towards, well, we have to talk about how the animal was raised, how it was fed, how much vitamin D did it get? Did it spend its life outside and eating grass or was it in some type of, warehouse?
Yeah. What's the omega-3 to omega-6 ratio?
Exactly. It's like I have what was the soil like that the grass was growing in and, and all of these things. And by the time I finish with my brain doing all of that, none of the rest matters because we don't have the answers to the first step. But to wrap up, yesterday I scored on truly grass-fed, grass-finished beef. It was 50% off at a local, grocery store outlet. And I bought some and then I went to the cart and then I turned around and I bought more. I wanted to buy it all, but it was still pretty expensive. It's $5 a pound. So I didn't want to go crazy. And I had to think about how much freezer space do I have and what's coming in. So I think I bought about 35 pounds maybe.
Wow.
So, yeah. And it was, so it was a lot. And but I bought it and that's mostly for Rodrigo because I cook for him. And so it's all sitting in the freezer and I'm so happy. I was sitting in the store Googling the company to make sure it's really grass fed. And I actually came up on the site and it's like, yes, we actually are. And it's like they went explaining how the cows were raised and everything. So I was really kind of excited. It's from Australia.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to get stuff from like Australia and New Zealand and
Yeah, I'm tempted to go back tomorrow and see if there's any more and get it because I don't know if I'll ever see it again. So that's it.
All right. Until next week, guys.
Thanks for listening.